barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Shout out to Ness, dog. Dude, there's so much to this interview, dog. Thanks to Ness again. I appreciate you, King. Hey, he tells Errol Spence. Errol Spence didn't sell that fight. The Mexicans of Texas sold that fight. And Errol and basically Mikey Garcia talking that ish. Listen, guys, hear me out. Let Keith Thurman go. Don't slow him down. Don't clear the path. Clear the path. Don't rebuttal him. Don't let this nigga go. Let this nigga go. Because September 22nd, Errol Spence is the favorite versus Sean Porter. If Sean Porter succumbs to Errol Spence, he has to answer everything that he just said. Don't get mad. Enjoy it. Man, enjoy this. Enjoy this. Hey, Keith Thurman is great for boxing. I'll just say this. No one talks better shit than Keith Thurman. Adrian Broner don't talk shit. He's more of a skit kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like I say Adrian Broner. Keith Thurman talks that shit. And we gonna enjoy it. Alright? So let's sit back, fasten your seatbelts. As Lawless say, first to 100 wins. And Keith Thurman is winning right now. It's his fight week. Will Errol Spence be there? I don't know. But he's basically sunning Errol Spence. Listen, Keith Thurman may not admit this. He watches many videos. He probably reads a lot of headlines. And as articulate as he sounds, is how I picture him in his silent moments at home with his wife. And Keith Thurman's had a great year. His wife is home. He won his first fight. He has the pay-per-view versus Manny Pacquiao. He got it. He's living his best life. You know, he couldn't ask for a better year of the boxing outside of stopping Josecito Lopez early in that fight. You know, outside of that, it's been the Keith Thurman show. And Keith Thurman said he's going to be more active at the end of this fight. He says maybe he'll do more appearances. He's a lightning rod. No one can refute he's a lightning rod. Do I disagree with some of the stuff he says? Yeah. Do I agree with some of the stuff he says? Yeah. But I'm going to let Keith Thurman go. When I say I'm going to let Keith Thurman, I wouldn't rebuttal nothing he says. I mean, I would want to level up the conversation because Keith Thurman got some shit to let off his chest. And it's all directly aimed at Errol Spence. Is he overlooking Manny Pacquiao? No. He believes he's light years ahead of him. I believe Keith Thurman, after that media day in LA, I'm going to use my video for an example. I tried to go in on him. When you going to fight Errol Spence? Nigga, all we want to know is if you beat Manny Pacquiao, will you fight Errol Spence? Assuming Errol Spence beats Sean Porter, right? I couldn't get a definite yes. But he's talking this shit. Errol Spence is that type of nigga. Errol Spence is like a serial killer. Like, he gonna walk up to you in the middle of your interview and says, are you fighting me next? All that shit you was talking. Will you fight me next on pay-per-view somewhere in America this spring? That's all we want to know, Keith. So let this nigga talk. I guarantee you, 100%, I'm crossing my heart, hope to die right now. Stick 10,000 needles in my eye. Errol Spence is going to politely walk up to Errol Spence, and Errol Spence will politely walk up to Keith Thurman in an interview and say, all that shit she was talking, sign the papers. Let's go. You've been hiding from me. You've been lying. You was never injured. Sign to fight me in September, January, February of next year. Let's get it. Well, you got to wait till after. Or maybe you can pull it off. You know, maybe you want to wait till after the playoffs, after the Super Bowl. But you got to get it in before March Madness, though. Will you do it? Inquiring minds want to know. There lies the answer. So be patient. Let Keith Thurman get off. Guys, I know people when I say people going to be upset when they watch that, go watch that comment section. That interview is going to do dumb numbers. It's just too much to unpack. After you watch that interview, go back to that video in a week. Errol Spence fans gonna be livid. They gonna be mad. Shut the fuck up, Keith. You been lying about your injury. Let the nigga get off. Let him get off. As they say, let him hang himself with his own rope. Or let him let him whip the shit out of Errol with that rope. We gonna see. But it sure is fun that we have a legitimate rivalry in boxing. We have a legitimate, clear-cut rivalry in boxing. You know, who is it? The Miami Dolphins versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dan Marino's rookie year. Right? That's the last time Miami was good. They went to the Super Bowl Dan Marino's rookie year, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know how good the Cowboys was, but it sounds about right. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys soon. And let me be the first to say, because I want this to be clear, I apologize. There was a lot of black people at that fight. All right? There was a lot of black people. I would say 50% of the crowd, at least, was black that night. I'm going on a limb. I was there. I took over 100 pictures. I was there. I gave over 100 hugs. I was there. Okay? Over 50% of that crowd was black in Dallas Cowboy Stadium. I'm telling you, I was there. I saw it. At least the lower bowl. I can't speak for the upper bowl. But the lower bowl in the 100 section, 50% of the crowd was black. I know. I'm just letting you guys know. Barbershop conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So, in fairness to Errol, I'm not saying this because I'm an Errol Spence fan. I respect Errol. I love him. I want his movement and his brand to go further. He sold that fight. He helped sell that fight. It was way more black people there than Mexicans. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I'm just being as honest as I can be. There was a lot of Mexicans there. Sure was a lot of black people there. And let's go back because I don't want people to misunderstand this. The Ocampo fight, 80% of the crowd was black. 80% of the crowd was black. At least 80%. They tried to make it Mexican. They had Ocampo against him on the against him. Then they had the kid from Chicago versus Fortuna. And then Robert Garcia had a fighter or two on that card. They thought it was going to be Mexican. They thought it was, but it wasn't. It was 80% black. I'm just being real and as honest as I can be. So, Keith Thurman, you're wrong in terms of who was there. He said the Mexican people in Texas sold the fight, which implies there were Mexican people that bought tickets to the fight. He's not saying the pay-per-views because pay-per-views exceeds far beyond the state of Texas. So you get what I'm saying? So I believe he was implying the pay-per-view, but he made reference to the Mexicans in Texas, which implies a lot of Mexicans in Texas bought tickets to the fight. I was there. Errol Spence did a great job. Errol Spence has Dallas 10 toes down for him. I'm being real. I've been there for 2 fights. I've seen it with my own eyes. I even told Errol, I said, Errol, I didn't make no money off the Ocampo fight because the nigga didn't speak English. Right? And no one knew who the hell he was. And the undercard was all Spanish. I knew I wasn't going to make any money. But I knew when I watched him fight Lamont Peterson, I knew I was watching something special. Lamont Peterson has never been dominated a day in his life in the boxing ring for the entire fight. I repeat that again. Lamont Peterson has never been dominated in a fight the entire fight. Never have I seen it. I'm being real. Lamont Peterson knows how to survive. He knows how to use the entire ring. He knows how to shell up. He knows how to protect himself. You guys know what I'm talking about when you see Lamont Peterson in the ring, you know. But when I saw him do that to Lamont Peterson, I knew Errol Spence was. I saw it with my own eyes, and I actually had a conversation. And then we were in the Marriott Hotel after the fight. Errol Spence was unblemished, as confident as he can be. I asked him, how easy was the fight? He said it was real easy. He said He paid Lamont Peterson a great deal of respect, and then we started talking about buying cars. And then I told him, I says, man, you should buy a Tesla. And he's like, nah, he's young, and because I knew he had a Range Rover or something, because I saw it in Dante. I remember Dante went to go cover his camp, and I knew he had a Range Rover. And I said, I know you got a Range Rover. This is years ago, right? I said, I know you got a Range Rover, and uh, you should think about buying a Tesla. He's like, a Tesla, and that was before I was committing to the Tesla. I was having a cathartic experience because he and I both was having conversations about I had a Bentley at the time, and I was telling him how terrible. Well, he can afford it. Me, I can afford it, but I have to work to afford it. You know what I mean? Like, he makes this abundant money at one time, and I was telling him, like, these European cars, every time I take it in, it's $3,000. And I was explaining to him, man, you should just get a Tesla, live your best life. I'm about to get a Tesla. I'm about to have my daughter, and the rest is history. And that was our conversation for about 20 minutes after the fight, and that was it. So, but when I saw him fight uh, Lamont Peterson, I knew he was special. I said, God damn, he was kind of shelled up, Kell Brook. Like, he didn't open up against Kell Brook. I saw Errol Spence, like, in that Lamont Peterson, like, you know how you play one-on-one basketball, or you done hit the last two jump shots in a row? Earl was about to make his third jump shot if that fight had continued against Lamont Peterson, because he was about to go. And Barry Hunter did the correct thing by stopping the fight. And Lamont Peterson, in turn, got two or three more paychecks thereafter. So congratulations to all parties involved. And Errol Spence sold that fight as well, Keith. I'm just going to let you know. I was there. Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you soon. Peace.